Yeah, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shai, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahweh Shai. Give all praises and all honor and all glory unto the Most High God Yahweh, which He is, and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, which means He delivers or He saves, Bahasham, which is in the name of the Rakakwadash, which is Spirit Holy or Holy Spirit. Right? Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim and the Four Winds preaching in truth and sincerity, risking their lives more now than ever. The hopeful elect, the elect. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, to you Akwathium who have listened under your husbands or your spiritual leaders and learn in silence and have come back to the fold. Shalom. This your brother Ram Yahawada with the lesson. And here we are with those people who call themselves Jewish, right? Who by the declaring of saying that they can get back into the land according to the Bible, but the Bible says different than what's actually going on in the world, right? So it says Israel to top up shrinking sea of Galilee. So if these people are the Israelites and they could proclaim to be back in that land according to so-called Bible prophecy, which this would not be Bible prophecy because there would be no shrinking sea, right? This is actually a curse. This is what the Lord said that He was going to do, to curse the land when the Israelites are not in the land, right? With desalinated water. And it says, let's look at this. Desalination. Desalination. The process of removing salt from seawater. So they're trying to take the basically the salt from the seawater to make it drinkable. And it says Israel a leader in making seawater drinkable, plans to pump excess output from its desalination plant into the Sea of Galilee. Right? Depleted, right, by overuse, right, and threatened by climate change, right, which is not at all what the Lord said would happen when the children of Israel get back into that land, right? So you got people coming up to us and not believing that we're the Israelites, but where are the people who's not believing that those people who's in the land in Israel who's saying that they're Jewish, who's saying that they have rights according to the so-called what they say that they believe in the Bible, that it's their right to be in that land, but the prophecies of the children of Israel, or the sons, which actually, because when it goes to the children, it means sons. Bun means those sons of Israel, when they get in that land, that land was going to be a paradise. It was going to flourish. That land is not flourishing, right? It also said there wouldn't be no war, right? So you tell me, why is there war going on? Why is there a so-called global pandemic, and you got depleting water? You got water that now you got to pump water from the sea, from the ocean, to fill to fill the river of Galilee, right? But no one's coming to these so-called Jewish people and saying, why don't you fit the prophecies, right? Yeah, so I want to continue that. So I did another one here. So it's Isaiah 2 and 1. The word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah, right, which is the southern kingdom, and Jerusalem, which is the northern kingdom, which is the entire kingdom of Israel, all 12 tribes as one nation, right? It didn't mention anybody else, so you can see that this is who this is addressing this to, and this is a future prophecy. And it shall come to pass in the last days, right? Because we're in the last days. Everybody would agree with that, but the so-called Jewish, who's in the last days with us, saying who they are, but it's not lining up with prophecy. But why is nobody asking why all the pain, why all the drugs, why all the disease, why all the wars, right? And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahweh's, Bashem Yahushai's house, shall be established in the top of the mountain. So it's going to be above all other governments, right? And shall be exalted above the hills, right? Which is those smaller governments, smaller countries, right? And all nations, right? Whether you country, small country, big country, all nations shall flow unto it, right? And many people shall go and say, come ye, let us go up to the mountain, right? The government of Yahweh, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us, right? Which the Lord said that we are priests, right? And we're a nation of kings and priests. So we're going to teach all other nations, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his path. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, right? So the law, this is a future prophet. This is the kingdom of heaven. So how was the law done away with? And the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem, with all 12 tribes being there, dealing with the 144,000 of, the house of David, basically, Ba'af Dawadah, the house of David, right? Throne of David, right? Having Yahushai, which is from David, and actually having King David himself be king in Israel once again. And he shall judge, because that's what's ultimately going to go out. Judgment. The Lord loveth judgment, right? The Lord loveth judgment, right? I mean, the Lord do judgment every day. You know what I mean? And he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke, right? It's judgment going out, punishment, many people. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, right? Because there ain't going to be no famine in the kingdom. You're finna beat your swords into plowshares, man. Ain't gonna be no famine in the kingdom. And there shall and their spears into pruning hooks. Well, of course, unless, like the Lord said, if you don't want to serve the Lord, we're gonna stop it from raining, and then you'll have a famine in your area, in your neck of the woods. But as long as everyone served uh, uh, the Most High through His Son and through His people, because ultimately the Lord said that we're joint heirs unto Yahweh Shai. So you got to serve His people too. But anybody who don't, the Lord said He's not going to let it rain. Right? That's the only way you're not going to have food and things like that. Not because we're, making wars and rumors of wars and false things and lies and government secrets of destruction and killing people and doing all these top secret things in order to mind manipulate Agent Orange and all these other different things that that they have, right? So no, there's gonna be plenty of food. There's gonna be plenty of work, right, for you nations. You going into slavery. It says, and your spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn of war anymore. Right now, my wife's nephew just went to boot camp or whatever, so he could join the Navy or the military or whatever. But they're teaching him how to be a soldier. That's learning. So if the people who's in Israel saying that they have a right to that land because of the Bible, and then none of you so-called Christians are even asking any questions of why do it say that you wouldn't even learn of war anymore? But every day there's some soldier at a high school or at a college trying to get young men and women these days into their military so they could fight a war. And you've been in a 20-year war and you still lost it, right? Yeah, so this is Isaiah 61:1. The Spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is come upon me, because Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai have appointed me to preach, which preach goes into prophesizing, good tidings unto the meek, right, which is dealing with the Israelites. He have sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captive, and the ones who are captive are the Israelites, man, around the world, around the four winds or the four corners of the earth. We're captive, and to open and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and the day of vengeance, right? Payback, right? The recompense, the same thing upon your head, due to Joel chapter 3, right? That he will recompense unto Tyre, Zidon, Palestine, and to the Greeks, right? Which we know who the self-proclaimed so-called white man is the Greeks or the Romans, or who they are to this very day, right? Because they will be the descendants of those people, right? Which are Edomites, right? The vengeance of our power to comfort all them that mourn, right? Because we out there on the highways and the byways moaning. We doing these digital epistles, moaning. To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, right? Because we're in a low condition because of Esau, Edom. The oil, right, of joy, like going into the latter rain, the latter and the former rain, or the former and the latter rain, right? To have the oil, right, which also goes into having that spirit, the oil of joy, right, having the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees, right, of righteousness, right, going into basically the Revelation 22, where the tree, that the of righteousness, the planting of Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, that he might be glorified, and they shall build the old wastes. They shall rise up, right? Because the old waste places that's in Israel now, or Jerusalem now, are still waste. Those are all ruins, and right now they have it as tourist attractions. The Lord said you're going to go rebuild the waste places. So why is people not asking these questions? Right? They shall rise up. The former desolations, right? Because those former desolations are still there. And they shall repair the waste cities, the desolation of many generations. And what? Because those strangers are going to beat their swords into plowshares and be slaves. So it's, and strangers, so same thing. And strangers shall stand and feed your flocks. You're gonna be servants and slaves and handmaids unto the Israelites, man. And feed your flocks. And the sons of aliens shall be your what? Your plowmen. So you're gonna beat your plow. So where's the people out there that got, why they don't have a bunch of different nations out there plowing their fields? And all the world coming to them for the law of the Lord, because they don't follow the law of the Lord, right? You would not have the biggest gay parade in the world, in the Holy Land, if you follow the laws of the Lord. And your vine dressers, right? Because you're going to be slaves, period. You people, you don't know what's going on, right? But ye shall be named what? The priest of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Men shall call you the ministers of our power, right? Because that's what we ultimately going to do. We're going to teach you the laws of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. But you're gonna be in servitude to the Israelites, and there's gonna be plenty of food. We're not gonna have a drought. We're not gonna have war. We're not gonna have disease, right? Unless you cause it upon yourself by not following the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Not because some man wants to make $32 trillion by making a disease and the cure. You know what I mean? So it says, what is some regular man, Joe Schmo, who can't even lift up a 50-pound weight, but he got a God complex. You know what I mean? Ye shall eat the richest, right? And that's really ultimately what's going to happen, man. Ye shall eat the richest of the Gentiles. So where's all these Gentiles being saved and receiving the same blessing as the Israelites if we're eating your riches? Right? You should eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall ye boast yourself. So if we're taking your riches, which is your cattle, you know, certain parts of your land, your women, where is it that you are? Oh, I just have to believe in in well, I hate to say the name, but that's what they believe in, Jesus, and everything gonna be okay. Well, when you say you believe in Jesus, it says you're gonna be joint heirs. This has nowhere near where you're joint heirs with Israel or Zion or who the world calls Jesus because he died. This is a future prophecy. This is the kingdom of heaven, and there's no joint heir. We're gonna eat the riches of the Gentiles. They're gonna be your plowmen and your vine dressers. Where's their equal salvation in this? It's not. This is Isaiah chapter 35, verse 1. The wilderness and the solitary place, which is talking about the land of Israel, shall be glad for them. When we get back into that land, the land is going to be glad. You're not going to have to use a machine to change the water into clean, to take the salt out and put it into the Galilee to make the river so it's like an actual river because of climate control. It's not going to happen. Because what the Lord said is going to happen when we get in the land of the true children of Israel. And the deserts, right? Because it's drying up like a desert. And the deserts shall rejoice and bloom as the rose. It shall bloom abundantly, right? Which means that the former and the latter rain is going to have plenty of water. Fresh water, that's what I meant to say. Fresh water. And rejoice even with joy and singing the glory of Lebanon. And Lebanon is known for what? For trees. To have trees, you got to have a great amount of water to have good, strong trees like Lebanon. Shall be given unto it the excellency of Carmel and Sharon. They shall see the glory of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and the excellency of our power. Strengthen ye the weak hands, right? No one's going to be walking around feeble with their freaking skin basically wrapping around their bones because they're starving, right? You know? Strengthen feeble hands, strengthen your weak hands, and confirm the feeble knees, right? You're gonna be walking around weak without any food or anything like that, right? When the true children of Israel get in that land, it's gonna have plenty of food, plenty of water, right? Say to them that are fearful heart, be strong, fear not. Behold, which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention. Your power will come with vengeance upon these devils who say that they're the people and they're not. And all of a sudden climate control and all this other climate change and all these different things so-called is affecting the earth, but no one's asking the questions. If you're the people, why ain't the land rejoicing? Why do you have to use a machine to turn the salt water from the ocean into fresh water if you're the people? That land should just be abundantly with plenty of water in the Galilee, plenty of trees, plenty of fruit, it should be rendering all her fruits, because that's what the Lord said was going to happen, right? But the Lord's going to take what? Vengeance, come with vengeance, right? Recompense upon all you, all you heathens, right? From Psalms 83. Even power with a recompense, right? Right? Recompense. He will come and save you. So we're not really worried about all this type of thing, because what? We shall eat. Right? Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, right? And the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped. And that's ultimately what's happening now as far as getting the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? Then shall the lame man leap as an hart, and the tongue of the dumb sing. In the wilderness shall water. Oh, wait a minute. Shall waters, because they're talking about they got to take the water from the ocean. This ain't what the Bible's saying. The waters break out and stream in the desert. Right? So call on Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai, Basham Rakal Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who will well. Salutations to the Akim and the Four Winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking their lives more now than ever. The hopeful elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, you Aquafium, who have come back to the fold and listen and learn it in silence under your husband or your spiritual leader. Shalom, and death to America.